He who has a why can bear any how. You hear of so many people that disregard the thought of working towards any sort of goal, any dream, anything that they've ever dreamed of, and completely disregarding it. You know, not even just to do with them, but those around them as well. Disregarding others' goals around them. And what is the point of pursuing anything if all we're going to do is live, work and die? You know, what's the point of pursuing these goals and having a dream if we're all going to end up in the same place anyway? In my perspective, that is a poor outlook to life. This quote, "He who has a why can bear any how," just gave me such a deeper understanding to why we need something to pursue. Why, as individuals, we need something to aim upwards at. It is so important to have something that is personal to you to strive and aim at, that is upwards. Because this quote, you know, you can break it down into two parts. He who has a why. The why is, in a great sense, a meaning to live. And aiming at something, that purpose of pursuit, the purpose of pursuit, and aiming at something that is greater than you, that something that is an achievement. You're working towards an achievement. Having that provides so much meaning. It can only improve you as a person. It can only improve you and your surroundings if all you do is aim at this thing. The second part of this can bear any how. The how, in my perspective, relates to the challenges and hardship that life is going to inevitably throw at you. Things that you have no control over, that just happen, that are challenges that are thrown your way, that happen because you are in pursuit of something positive, in pursuit of something higher. And having the why allows you to bear these hows, you know, the hows of no matter how bad your life gets, no matter how sad and upset you are, no matter how damaged you are, all of these hows that you can think of become bearable when you have something of pursuit that you are aiming at, that is upwards of you, that is higher, something that is an achievement that you are in pursuit of. These hows are where lessons are learnt and where growth takes place. If all you're doing is just sitting on the surface and you don't have a why, then not having a why won't even generate these hows. Because if you're aiming upwards at something, then it is inevitable that struggles and hardship are going to come upon you. And the more hows that you get thrown your way, the more lessons and the more growth that takes place. If you have something that you're aiming at, if you have a purpose, you have a why, a reason to live, a purpose to pursue, then it makes the hardships of life so much more manageable and allows you to extrapolate your outlook and deal with them in a manner that you once wouldn't. You know, you would look at things in a way more complex way, that you'll have more tools and more mental skills at your disposal to deal with the hows of life if you're on a constant pursuit of your passion and aiming upwards towards something. I just thought that me hearing that quote was too good not to say something. I'm sure I'll have some more things to say on it, but I just thought I'd get it out here and there while it's fresh in my mind. But today is session number 16, and today will be shoulders and biceps. I'm only going to do a touch of shoulders because I did hit them the other day, but nonetheless, I think, well, I lied about pressing. I've got some new dumbbells and some new plates, so I think I'm going to do some dumbbell shoulder press, which is the first time in here that you will see that. It's always been barbell because I've only had enough weight to do a barbell press and not dumbbell. So I'm going to start out with that and then probably just jump into some side raises and then move on to biceps. So with that being said, let's just get straight into it and cut to a top set. Let's do it.
Oh, come on! And again! Come on! More! I could have gone up a weight, but a good set is a good set. Sit here for 2 more and then I can't even think about what I'm going to do after that. All I can think about is the next set, so let's just get into it. Come on! And again. One more. Woo! Yes. That's it. Let's go again. Come on! That's it. Woo! Yes. That is where it's at. I'm going to move on to... My shoulders are feeling pretty done, to be quite honest. That is probably just enough for me. In fact, it is. And you know why? Because lately I've been experiencing the ability to reach the optimal level of things to keep the ball rolling, because it's very hard with something like training to not push it past your limits. You know, I still take every session past my limits. You know, I push myself to failure, but in a sense that I don't overdo it on the number of sets and how long I train, in a way that it allows me to recover quicker and feel better and know that what I've done is effective with the right amount of sets, movements, and just going off of general feeling and applying that to everything that I do. Because so many people just overwork themselves. They find that overdoing something gives them a sense of satisfaction that they've done more than they should have. Therefore, it's better, which I'm finding with myself isn't the case with a lot of things. What's better is doing the right amount to where you can continue to do more the day after, the next day, and the day after that, the week after that. To keep the ball rolling is something so important that I have found out about and have been applying it to everything in my day-to-day life, because the more often that you can keep that ball rolling and allow your journey to play out and continue to do the things that you want to do, that you're supposed to do, that will push you towards success, you know, the quicker that you reap the rewards, the quicker that you will gain things back from the work that you put in. So just think about that, you know, how much effort you're putting in. Sometimes it can be too much, to the point where you're going to get the same result back if you just not put any less in, but keep it at that optimal level where you know what you're doing is the exact same as doing too much. Because there is a point where the return starts to diminish, and just think about it very carefully, because yes, it is good to put in a lot of work and really work hard, but it can be a self-sabotaging thing, and that is not what you want to do, because you want to keep that progress happening. So just think about that. And I'm going to move on to biceps, because that is literally what I just spoke about, and I feel good, so I'm going to move on and continue. So let's do it. Let's go again. Woo! One more, two more, depending on how I feel, and then it's going to be it. It's as simple as that, man. Like I'm saying, don't overcomplicate it. Do enough so that you can do more. You know, there's no point screwing yourself up by overdoing it just for the sake of it, just to please your mind, to give you that gratification that, you know, you feel tired, you feel like you've got nothing left. That is a good feeling, but it can self-sabotage you because you won't be fit enough to carry on for the next weeks, for the next months. You know, you'll just fizzle out that mental energy, let alone your physical energy. You'll fizzle that mental energy out, and you'll go through cycles of motivation, in a sense. You know, you'll die out and then you'll feel fresh again. But that constant dying out is not keeping the ball rolling. Enough of me talking shit. Let's just do potentially the last set or the last two sets. Let's get straight into it. Woo! That is it. Like I said, simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Session 16, done. Doesn't need to be so in and outy, so too much shit involved, too much time. That is it, done. I'm gonna tidy this lot up and then wrap the session up. Let's do it. Keep the ball rolling. Keep the ball rolling. I want to touch more on what I was saying about finding that perfect. It's a hard subject because optimal and being optimal is so negatively spoken about, and I am very much of the opinion as well that you don't need to optimize everything. Just crack on with your shit and what you've got to do. Stop worrying about if it's perfect, finding the optimal amount, finding the optimal way, and so. I am very much of the opinion that just objectify what you've got to do and just fucking do it. It's as simple as that. But there are certain ins and outs that can help you achieve your goals a lot more efficiently and get the most out of learning. Learn the most, extract the most knowledge. Optimizing your workload in terms of everything that you do and finding a true, I want to say balance, but balance isn't the right word, because balance is something that, yet again, that I have a very harsh outlook on, that if you give yourself too much, then you will take the whole lot. Whereas, you know, if you let yourself have one day off, then your brain can't see no reason to just take loads of other days off and give in to very little things and let yourself off of little things and so forth. But
besides that, the word that I'm looking for is sort of like in between a balance that positively impacts efficiency. Efficiency, the ability to complete something with pure efficiency, to get the most out of something with an efficient amount of time, effort, and energy to get the reward out of a certain task. Efficiency is the word that I'm looking for here, because that is very important when it comes to chasing after your goals. You have to be efficient. And like I said earlier, people that, I used to be one of them, people that will put too much than they should into a given task, even if it's something simple as working out, or, I mean, that's a very broad subject because, you see how I train balls to the walls and very intense, but even training like that, you can still condense it to something that, instead of doing 2 hours training the way that I train, it's possible to get the same results training 45 minutes. And that is being efficient. And that is something that I have tried to carry over and that I have experienced within my life, within the recent days, that I have been carrying out tasks and working towards certain things, that efficiency is the ability to get the most out of a given task with an optimal amount of effort that is inputted into getting whatever it is that you get out of the given task that you're doing. And being able to work efficiently towards your goals and towards your dreams, in a sense, allows you to realise where to put your energy, where to put certain tasks on a ladder, what is more important and what requires more energy, what would be better given more energy, because so many people enjoy the sense of putting in so much work tirelessly that they can just do it on such meaningless things, like, say, if you want to build a brand or a business, but then you go to the gym and you work like an absolute animal, and then you don't have any energy to come home and maybe do a task that you would have done, given that you didn't completely train your arse off in the gym and you could have come home and done said task that you were supposed to do. It's just that ability to distribute your energy towards different tasks and be efficient about achieving your goals. And in a sense, it's just being smarter, being wiser, and learning throughout your journey to where to put your energy and where it is most efficient. But I could go on and on about that, because that is something that I'm recently experiencing and learning about. So, like I said, a lot of these things are just that I talk about are stuff that I'm dealing with or learning along the way of fucking life. Anyway, he who has a why can bear any how. Find your why and use it to combat the hows. Besides all of this stoicism, session 16 complete. Good session, quick, efficient, and effective. Happy with it. I'm ready to go and eat, fuel back up, and I'm fresh and ready for the next workout. Efficiency. Keep it in your mind when you're doing tasks, especially tasks that are hard, that require energy. Don't give too much unnecessary energy to these tasks. Allow yourself to think about what you've got coming up and try and distribute it to the best that you can to complete these tasks efficiently. So that is it for this one. Good session. In the books, ticked off, another brick on the wall, which is important. That is it. I will see you in the next one.